Geek Week in Review episode 50, and this week is pretty much all about Star Wars.
The Geek Week in Review.
Hello and welcome back to the Geek Week in Review with me, Jacob Sawyer, is of course the wonderful one and only SuperSorrell, and we've got Light Side, Dark Side, RyanSpeaksGeek. If you are watching on YouTube, please do like, share, subscribe, and all of those things. If you're listening on podcast, then please do continue to download, share, and all of those things. We do appreciate you. If you're on Instagram or on Facebook, you can check out the Geek Week in Review over there. And of course, as always, check the description of the video below and give the guys a follow if you don't already do so. This week, it's been a big week. It's a big week for us. Episode 50, the big 50, which is a landmark in itself.
It's a milestone video, isn't it? Yeah,
it is.
Close to a bus pass. We are. We're close to a bus pass.
We are, number 50. But it's all about 52 for us, so we're not going to make a big deal out of episode 50. But as far as the week is concerned, it has been a huge week for Star Wars and the Star Wars community. And that's pretty much what our show is going to be about. Let's be honest. We're going to.
Does it have to be? I'm really not a Star Wars guy.
I don't want to talk about Star Wars. Now, let's be honest. We've got double episode of Kenobi at long last. We got everything from Star Wars Celebration. We got trailers. We've got show announcements. We've just had everything happening in Star Wars. So, that's what we're going to talk about this week. So if you're not a Star Wars fan, tune in next week where we talk about other stuff. But of course, if you are a Star Wars fan, then stick around because unlike Sorrel,
Ash isn't. Yeah.
There he is.
Sorry, God knows what's going on.
He's just going to find Baby Greedo again, hasn't he? That's all that wants is a Baby Greedo.
Baby Greedo. But before we do get into Star Wars, there is one bit of Marvel news to cover. So let's check that off the list very quickly. We finally got the full-length Thor trailer for Thor: Llve and Thunder. And we were discussing it last week, and lo and behold, it did come out. For us, it was the early hours of the morning, so we kind of saw it on the Tuesday. But yeah, we got the full trailer. I'm loving it. I'm not
to hear that they're finally telling the story of the brave space Viking.
Yes. But no, I'm absolutely loving what it looks like, the kind of feel of it. Wasn't a lot of the Guardians in this one. This was all about Thor and Thor's gang, wasn't it?
I don't think they're going to be in it a huge amount. I think that we're going to have like maybe 15, 20 minutes tops at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm on the same wave.
Yeah, I think the same.
I think there's going to be a bit at the beginning where they might do a montage of some of the adventures they've had over the last year or so, and then they'll sort of do the whole landing thing. They'll drop Thor off in New Asgard or something. We'll have that scene where he's like doing that staring thing, and they'll sort of say goodbye to each other. I think that's where they're saying goodbye. And
I agree.
Same.
I definitely think the Guardians are going to go off because he's going to want to go find Gamora. Gamora's not going to be with them in this one because she's disappeared. He's going to want to find Gamora. So I think that's going to be their little bow out is we need to go save Gamora. We'll be back.
Yeah. I think the other interesting thing to note as well is that James Gunn was posting pictures from the holiday special, and one of the crew presents to him was like baubles for like a Christmas tree. I don't know if you've seen this. And there's all the different characters on it, and on it is, I think they called it Alpha Groot, and it's basically like a hench kind of 20s version of Groot. So in Guardians 3 and the Christmas special, Groot is going to look different than he did last time we saw him in Endgame. But obviously in this one, in the trailer, he looks the same. So not a huge amount of time has passed in that respect. So I think you're right. I think it's going to be kind of a montage, and then they're going off to find Gamora, and Thor's going off to sort out his stuff. But it's good. I enjoyed it. Gore, in my opinion, looks great.
Scary looking. It looks like he's killed a few gods.
Yeah, it's naturally what I do find ironic about it is there are certain scenes like where there's that huge giant creature that's been killed, which is one of the gods. I forget his name now, and that is literally from the comics. You must have seen the side-by-side comparisons where it's literally lifted from the comics, but yet they've done Gore and they've not made him comic book accurate. So I wonder whether there is going to be a kind of a second form for him, like we've been saying.
I think there is. I think this is just because you've got to leave something that's going to make people go, oh, in the trailer, from trailer to film. And I think I agree. I think that will be a bit like Dragon Ball Z style, like Frieza with like the final form. But it will be the next sort of, that will be the end part of the film, won't it? That'll be the climactic battle with the next, and he's truly evolved form or full things. I mean, I don't know what his powers are. Does he absorb the powers of the gods he kills, or
no? The long and short of it is that basically he finds out that gods are basically lazy and they're not doing what they should be doing, and so he goes off to, I think in the story, I might be wrong, but I think in the story, like loved ones are killed or someone on his home planet or something is killed. There's some kind of like revenge mission there, and he finds out that gods are basically, because if you think about like Thor and Loki and Asgard and stuff, like they've got all these powers and they're just sitting around drinking and that kind of stuff like that. Yeah, they are off on adventures and stuff, but they're not kind of utilizing their power to the fullest, and that's kind of his thing. So he goes off on a mission to kill the gods. And interestingly enough, there was supposed to be a scene in Moon Knight when they're all in the pyramid and they talk about Gore killing off some of the gods that aren't there.
Oh, that's
cool. But they cut it for time and stuff, so he was supposed to kind of be foreshadowed already. But yeah, so that's his kind of mission. I am wondering now though whether this is the end of Chris Hemsworth's Thor, and because you can imagine Gore killing him and Jane Foster's Thor being the one that kills Gore, and therefore that's how the torch is passed and stuff. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to expect from the trailer.
I just don't think they'll kill him off.
I don't know though.
Like, I think this might be his sort of final main thing. I think he'll get like a Captain America-esque maybe ending. I think maybe somehow like him and Lady Sif or something end up together and just go off on an intergalactic thing or something. I don't know.
It's interesting you should say that, because the actor that plays Lady Sif has been credited on the poster and on IMDb and stuff. So Lady Sif is definitely in this film. So that might be what happens. Can I just say as well, how cool was Mjolnir, the mighty Thor's Mjolnir, when all the pieces kind of, and so it is definitely Jane Foster from this universe. That's the shattered Mjolnir that we've had that was broken.
And it's the line about how long have we since we've seen each other, like 3 or 4 years? And he's like, oh, no, 8 years, 400 days, or whatever, 8 minutes. So I think that confirms it.
Yeah, but everything about it looks wicked. I think
it looks fun.
I didn't have a single complaint, and I think it's so far from where like the Dark World was that it just looks like it's good, and we don't have long to wait. It's going to be an exciting film, hands down. Going to be an exciting film. Interestingly enough, Chris Hemsworth is the second of the the MCU kind of actors to executive produce one of the films. So Scarlett Johansson did it for Black Widow, and Chris Hemsworth's done it for this one. So whether that has anything to do with what's happening or the direction it goes in, I don't know. But he's executive producer on it.
A bad day
there for you, yeah.
I don't think there would be enough emotional attachment from people to kill Chris Hemsworth off in a meaningful way. He's too much of a comedy actor for it to, even when he's dying, you'd be laughing at him.
That's why I think they wouldn't kill him off, because it's like the Deadpool 2 thing, when his death scene, it'd be, I kind of feel like that would be the equivalent of it.
I definitely think, Chris Hemsworth's not that kind of guy to do a serious ending like that. He'd be too busy going, I think I'm dying now. He'd do something stupid and it'd ruin him. So I don't see them doing a meaningful death for him or anything like that. I see them doing, I'm still sticking by he becomes basically the equivalent of what his father was. He's not going to be the All Father, but he'll be the equivalent king of something, and he will just live life there. And then the idea is they can always bring him back as if they need him.
I'd like to see him in that kind of final form that we see him in, like the King Thor, kind of with the metal arm and the beard, like bigger beard. And
if we are working, like they do say, we are working eventually towards Galactus. There's no way we're going to not have Chris Hemsworth reappear for Galactus as one of the heralds. There's no way they're not going to do that.
Yeah, that would be quite cool.
He would be a good, easy comedy relief for them to use opposite Galactus, because Silver Surfer's always deadpan serious. Imagine having Chris Hemsworth in the mix as one of the heralds. That'd be quite funny.
So your power is just to be incredibly shiny. Good. Glad you're on the team. Good.
But yeah, that was about it though, wasn't it? Did we talk about Morph last week? The animated version of Morph being released? We did.
Yeah, because we had the Power of X-Men on, so we had to. You couldn't not cover it.
Of course we did. No, all that did happen since then is that they
Power of
showed
X-Men,
us
the musical.
They showed us actual out-of-box pictures. So all the alternate head kind of theories that we made were, we
were pretty spot on with all that.
No, we thought they was going to have loads of heads.
He had two different heads.
Two. Yeah, the good and the bad.
No, I thought we only said that we was going to have the two. I thought we were just going to say he was going to have the one and the. Oh no, because that was my one theory that you guys said about the different character heads. So yeah,
yeah, but it's cool. It looks good. I think it looks good. So got no complaints there. Let's move on. Let's get on to the main topic.
Now, do we start and do Obi Wan because that's something separate from Celebration? Because Celebration is just a domino effect of news and glory, whereas Obi Wan is the day-to-day program we're going to be talking about on a weekly basis. I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know what this is.
I think we talk Obi-Wan.
Space Lobster.
Yeah. Obi-Wan.
Let's talk Obi-Wan first, and then we'll get into all the news and reviews from Celebration.
Hello there.
I definitely see why they gave us 2 episodes from the get-go. You needed that second episode. It was a one complete story, that wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It was that kind of final arc of where it ended. It was the build-up all the way through. But I was captivated the whole time. I didn't look away. I just thought it was brilliantly done, well told, and this might sound like a weird thing to say, but it felt very natural. It felt like it was always meant to be there, sort of thing. It
felt familiar.
Yeah, familiar. That's it. It felt like this was a story that they'd written back when they filmed the original, like the sequels. Yeah, but I enjoyed it.
It was great to see Owen back, and again, it's just like the last film ended, and it's like no time has even passed for him. They're just straight back at it.
It's like when you chuck like Mon Mothma into sort of Rogue One, when you had that sort of that continuity of like she was much younger when it was in Revenge of the Sith, and then she's in Rogue One, and then obviously naturally by the time you get to Return of the Jedi, she looked her right age. It's kind of, and now funny if she's going to be in Andor as well. I think so it is nice when they do that. You are right, like when it sort of feels like one thing's ended, it's accidentally cohesive because of using those actors again.
I what's his name? I can never remember his name. I'm rubbish with names, but the guy from Eternals, the comedian that played the con man.
Yes, he played the. I actually can't remember what the actor's name is.
I'm going to look it up. I can never print it. Who's going to get to it first? I'm
giving up. I'm submitting.
Okay,
I mean, to be fair, Ash, you are normally our guy in the chair, to be fair.
Sorry, I actually didn't jump on this one.
Yeah, I know. Normally, it's like we're like, we can't remember something, and we hear the keyboard typing away, and then,
Kenobi cast. So it is Kamal Najani.
Johnny, that's it. Yeah. I thought his was brilliant. For a second, I thought that he was a Jedi. I really did. I was like, "Oh, this is interesting." But I love the comical kind of the magnets and the
brilliant.
It was
genius.
It was just, and he's gone on and said that he would be happy to kind of reprise the role again because he had a lot of fun with it. And interestingly, in the interview that he gave, he said it's not a character that we've seen in the Star Wars universe before, like the con man kind of. And we haven't, when you think about it. You've not really seen.
There's only one or two books, I think, what that sort of mention, like people pretending to be Jedi and using sort of the magnets and stuff, but not in the sort of the as brazen way as that. I mean, having the kid involved in it as well was genius. It was a bit like it was Star Wars Fagin.
Yeah.
Trickery con man, then having his army of little street rats.
But the only thing that disappointed me about his character, I know we're kind of jumping around here, but the only thing that disappointed me about his character was the way he kind of redeemed himself very quickly. It was kind of like, if you'd been running this con for so long, you wouldn't instantly kind of go, I'm going to stand up against an Inquisitor because I need to feel good. But yeah, so I would like to see him back. So how do you want to discuss this? How are we going to do it? I'm following your lead because you guys are the Star Wars guys more than me.
Guy in the chair. What do you reckon?
I'm happy just to jump around as we chat about it.
I'm gonna.
Right, let's-
Go on.
I was gonna say,
You
let's
said
talk-
he started a sentence with I, so he had a thought. Go with it.
Otherwise, we ended up just doing what we did last time, which is we just end up narrating a story and not really talking about how we felt about the story.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
Sad. I felt sad at different points of it. Like, it was a proper roller coaster of emotions. I got that excitement of seeing old faces, but genuinely, the evolution instantly from like Kenobi's character out the door, that horrible reluctance and the sort of the defeatedness of it, and just it was really crushing. Like, it was, but he just did it so well. And there was like the mundane sort of thing he does every single day with the mining of the fish, you know, for the meat and stuff. They're seeing that same scene, but almost like, you know, on a different day, but the exact same thing. And then like he's, you know, when the other young Jedi asked him for help and says no, and just the, you know, all these little bits. And it was just like to see someone who's, you know, like you said, the whole Jedi hunt themselves speech, you know, by the Inquisitor, and you see Obi Wan saying basically it's over, we lost, and stuff like that. It's interesting because he's not the Obi Wan we left in Revenge of the Sith and Clone Wars, and he's not the Obi Wan from A New Hope. This really is at his lowest, darkest moment. Yeah. He can't reach Qui-Gon no matter what Yoda told him. He's not hearing Qui-Gon. You know,
that's coming though. Let's be honest.
I think
obviously coming.
I've now got the feeling that once this is all said and done, I think the last episode, when he gets back to his cave after his adventures, because that's the sad part is that's got to be where it ends. He's got to go back and be alone in that little cave. I think that's the moment where he sits down and he's not thinking about it, and he just sits, and all of a sudden you'll just hear Liam Neeson's voice, Obi-Wan. You'll just hear his one line of just Liam Neeson, and that you know, that'll be it. Because obviously, don't forget Liam Neeson can't cameo. I've already thought about this after rewatching some Clone Wars stuff. He can't cameo in it. He can't be in it. He can only be voiced because he can't manifest in the Force. He's the only person that could not manifest in the Force. He can put his voice out there, but he can't materialize like the rest of them can.
Oh, I thought he did in.
Yeah, I thought he did in a Clone Wars episode.
Yeah, he did.
It's only his voice, though, isn't it? I don't think he ever because
they animated a massive nose for him as well, which I always thought was really funny.
Is it Clone Wars or Rebels? It's one of them. He's definitely in.
It's Clone Wars. It's definitely Clone Wars. And I want to say it's the
version of him.
Is it when they're stranded on the planet with the three children, like the two children of the Force? Is it that episode?
Quite possibly. It's been a while. It's been a while. I definitely remember seeing him because I remember thinking, "Oh, is that his voice?" Like it was.
Plus, also, they could just change that law because they can now.
Yeah. But I completely agree with you, and I think that Liam Neeson is going to be the Luke Skywalker moment. I think they're going to do the story's going to be such a roller coaster that people are going to forget about how, like what you just said about how he has to end up back there. They're going to be just on this journey, and they're going to kind of forget that. So when he does go back there, that's the big payoff. It's like, right, he's met with Qui-Gon. I don't think that this is obviously going to overtake Rebels, because Rebels is where he comes face to face with Darth Maul again, isn't it? So this is going to be,
and he's more one with the Force, then, isn't he? As well, like he's much more A New Hope bent,
and he does the whole switching of the three styles.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to touch with Qui-Gon again before that, I think. Not in a creepy uncle way, but just in a like they're gonna have to touch.
Plus the fact that Maul and that doesn't even know where he is at that point. That's all still to happen with Rebels. So it's people that are expecting Maul to turn up. I don't think he will. I think this is too much before all that. This because he needs Ezra to unlock all that stuff, and
it'd be too distracting from what's.
And we're still sorry, I got really excited then. I remember looking at the comic books. We are still 5 years away from Kanan. So this is before Kanan as well. Kanan's still coming. He's not reached Hera at this point. He's still 5 years away from joining the Ghost Crew, because the comic books say 15 years ago when Order 66 happens. This says on this episode it said 10 years prior. So we're still 5 years away from Rebels. So that's still quite a big time jump.
And if you think about, like, talking of Maul as well, like if you're following the stories, I don't know about the comic books, but if you're only watching the TV shows, then Maul would be in that cave anyway, or at least kind of setting up for that stage where he kind of disappears and becomes a a cave spider.
Can you imagine if the actual last scene of this show is actually Obi-Wan buying that house he's got? It's just Obi-Wan with a realtor going, yes, lovely, I'll take it. It's great. You know, I used to live in a cave way out in the west, but this is great. It's nice. I can really see shaping the future of a young Jedi's path here. Good. What's the parking? Yeah. How's the parking?
So let's talk young Jedi's. So Luke, obviously, we saw from afar. I was not expecting that much of a Leia story.
No, can't believe that much.
And that really hit me from the side. I was not expecting.
Yeah, and what a spot on actor. The girl they got playing young Leia, it is young Leia. Like it's you don't even skip a beat, and I didn't even question. I just knew it was her from like the get-go.
Yeah,
it was just
impressive.
When
they were dressing as well, I was like, she's not going to be there. That's not her. Like it's the bit that got me though, right in the feels, and I'm jumping forward a little bit, is when Obi-Wan's walking with her and he talks about how she reminds him of somebody that he knew.
Yeah.
He's obviously talking about Padme, and I was just like, wow, I was like, oh, that is some serious callback there. But yeah,
he's gonna have that like grandfather mentality with them, isn't he? Because obviously he saw Anakin as a brother and a son, and you know what I mean. He's gonna have that fatherly kind of connection to them. Yeah, he's gonna feel like he's gonna have to protect them. So I do like that. I thought it
was great that they brought back what's his face who plays stepfather,
Owen Lars.
His father, Owen Lars. That's it. And
Aunt Beru, she's the same actor as well.
Is it? Isn't it? Yeah, same people.
Is it? Yeah. I thought they were great, and I thought it was great to have that. And it wasn't just a little cameo; like they were in it. And I just thought, even after 10 years, she goes missing, and Obi-Wan's the person that they go for, like they contact. And I just thought that was really cool. I did question the battery life in the communicator, though. Let's be honest. If it's sat in a box for 10 years, like there's very little.
To be fair, if it's solar powered, he's on the right planet for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Two suns, double the battery.
Double charge.
That's how it works.
Double charge.
Yeah, but you're forgetting also about space science.
Yeah. Okay. Fair play. But yeah, the Leia story is great.
The little droid.
Yeah, Lola.
Yeah.
That's the new Baby Yoda, let's be honest. They wasted no time releasing that as a
like as 2 or 3 different versions, isn't there? Like
it was just
there's 3. So there's 3 versions. There's going to be the animatronic version, which is $79.99, which is the big all singing, all dancing one. Very, very similar to the Yoda that I've got behind me. You know,
batteries not included.
Then they're releasing a more basic version of it, which again they did with Baby Yoda. They just gave us the plushy version. So they've already got the 2 like robot droids. And then, you know, the bounty collection, those little minis that we get in of Yodas, they're now going to make Lola's minis. So they're expanding the bounty collection into other things now as well. As
I don't know what I'm more annoyed at, though. The fact that it's obvious what they're doing, or 2, that I'm not angry about it, because actually I'm like, oh, Lola.
Star Wars has always been about toy etiquette is the word they've always used. Star Wars is brilliant. It's brilliant because it thinks about the marketing for toys alongside making something that should be in the universe. So I like the fact that they've not only gone, this is a cool droid, we can make a shitload of merch out of it.
Yeah.
And it's easy to make life size. Baby Yoda is easy to make life size. Yep. Lola's easy to make life size.
And let's be honest,
K2SO, not so much.
That little droid, let's be brutally honest, we're all going to have one by the end of the year, because it was the coolest thing in that whole episode, was that little droid flying around. Everyone wants one of them.
It was awesome.
Speaking
of unexpected sort of like things, obviously we weren't expecting Leia, but I'll tell you what I wasn't expecting was the 501st veteran clone trooper on the streets.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple people went like, oh, Cody's like, he's in 501st armor, it's not Cody. To my knowledge, unless he moved to the 501st afterwards, we don't know. But I don't think it would be Cody, because I feel like Cody's still. I still think there's a small chance he might make an appearance.
Cody's going to have his own show. There's no. Let's be honest.
Possibly, but I thought
Cody will have.
My thought was that maybe it's actually because now Reva is sort of really, really determined to go Obi-Wan. Like, who knew Obi-Wan best? Well, Cody was Obi-Wan's commander, so she might get Cody on board somehow or something. I don't know. Maybe. I agree. Probably he's going to have like some kind of spin-off show. It's going to be a new show called Star Wars Veterans, and it's all about the live-action versions of Wolf, Cody and all that or something maybe. But
how they get on that big sandcrawler thing in
I
Rebels.
think that's all. I think that's all to do with Bad Batch. I think Bad Batch will lead all into that for us.
Yeah.
I think by using any of those characters in live action now would take away from the Bad Batch because there's no peril. If they would say to us, we know Cody survives till X amount of time, then every mission they do in Bad Batch, like, well, we know Cody's all right. It takes away that essence of peril. So I don't think we'll use him. But I did like the fact they used a few fake outs. Like I'm guessing at that moment when you saw the shawl and the armor reaching out, spare any change, and you heard that voice, everybody thought that was Cody. Everyone on the planet went, Cody! They did a few things. They did a few things in that episode which I thought was very clever, where they tried to bait you. Like when you thought you were, like at the very beginning where he's looking for Qui-Gon, everyone was waiting for the voice of Liam Neeson to appear, and you didn't get it. Then they did that whole thing where they introduced Kamali's character, where they sort of said about there's a guy here he's a Jedi and he's on the streets or whatever. Everyone were expecting that to be because they did so much talk about Samuel L. Jackson coming back. I was half expecting to see a survived, ripped up Samuel L. sat there, and he wasn't. So there were so many little bait moments where they tried to make you go, bait and switch.
Clever though, kept you paying attention. But the general setting of it as well. I will say this: we got 3 very different locations in 2 episodes, which is more than what a lot of the films have actually provided. You know, we got to see Tatooine. Tatooine's obviously the go-to for Star Wars.
A lot of sand.
Yeah, I mean, there is that one guy who hates it, but like everyone else is fine with it. But we got to see a lot of Alderaan, which is really good because we don't get to see loads of it. But it was so nice to see more of it. And then we got like this sort of very urban street with the Las Vegas-y type lights, and it was sort of like a Chinatown mix.
I really loved that planet. I thought that was a really good setting, like a good backdrop for Star Wars, and just
it was
kind of going
lived in
clone,
industrial lived in thing.
Yeah, but just going back to the clone, like having a place like that, and yet the clone has ended up there in his armor as a beggar on the street. Like I just thought this planet takes no prisoners. Like this, and there's stormtroopers walking around that place. So the clone in full armor begging on the street. That's like hardcore. Like that'd be like police walking around, and then there being a full policeman in uniform, like sat on the floor begging. Like it was that bit I thought was cold, like, but good. So what did we think?
Sorry, what did you think of the montage at the very beginning? The way they cut the whole previously on Star Wars.
I actually really enjoyed that.
That was an enjoyable 2 minutes to watch.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's the problem with those is that you, especially when it's something as huge as 3 Star Wars films, you're like, right, you're condensing it down into 2 minutes. So what's happening in this episode that you need to remind me of, but I think they did a good job of not giving too much away by showing you that. There was no real big tells, was there? It was just
enough to make you know what's going on, maybe if you weren't aware or stuff like that. But then I thought when you said montage, I did think you were going to say about the Order 66 one, because I did not see that coming, and that was freaking awesome.
That was brutal, wasn't it?
I think we're going to see more of that. I don't think that scene's done yet. I think we're going to see that progress throughout the season. I think we'll get a bit more and a bit more and a bit more. I think them group of children are some of the people we're going to meet along the way, like Reva, and some of the the Inquisitors, because they said, didn't they, after Order 66, Anakin chose, or Vader, Anakin chose the strongest of those younglings to become the first Inquisitors and to come to the dark side. So some of those kids that are escaping are going to become like Reva, the 5th brother, the Grand Inquisitor, maybe himself might even be there as a Jedi Master at this point. So
because he was a temple guard, wasn't he? If I remember correctly.
Guard, yeah. He was a temple guard that fell. He tried to run away and ended up falling to the dark side. But there's loads of things in there. Like I think we'll see the moment where the Grand Inquisitor like basically takes all these children to Vader. And we might even get a Baby Yoda scene in this. This could be where we get a Baby Yoda cameo, because who got him out of that temple? We're in that very moment.
Yeah, that's
the 501st were the ones that were shooting at whoever was protecting Baby Yoda. It was the 501st. So we're in that same scene somewhere. That's happening. It's too easy for them not to touch on it.
No,
Agreed.
And give us a little bit more info on it, because maybe the Inquisitors took Baby Yoda to begin with, and he escaped, or somehow he got out, or because something must have happened for the Empire to know about him in the first place.
Or we just casually see Grogu walking in the background in one episode. It does a flashback, just very casually. You just see him sneaking into an air vent, like.
Because it doesn't make, to me, always it don't make sense that if he managed to escape Order 66 and he's remained hidden, how did the Empire find out about him in the first place to track him down to lose him again or whatever? Yeah, something happened there. So I think this could lead into some of that.
And very I think possible. with Mandalorian season 3 coming and Ahsoka coming and all that kind of stuff, like this is a perfect place for them to give the fans a little bit of a look, give us that with Baby Yoda, or Grogu, we should say, but then also fill in the blanks of like you say, find out how he got out. So kind of continuing the Mandalorian story without making it a Mando episode,
You are safe to say Baby Yoda, because I have literally heard the Celebration team call him Baby Yoda about 1 million times this weekend.
He's Baby
Yoda for marketing purposes, but I'm trying to get out the habit because I like keeping my characters in. That's Grogu. Because we might actually see Yoda as a baby at some point, and then what do we call that other Baby Yoda?
One thing I don't understand. One thing I don't understand. Reva's character is so similar to the character from Jedi Fallen Order. Why didn't they just use the Jedi Fallen Order Inquisitor?
That was what I did.
This is her prequel story. The characters are far too similar.
Because I think there's going to be an arc, like a redemption or an ending arc, which they couldn't have used the other character for. Yeah, and I think that was probably what it is. They probably were like, we like this concept, but we can't use it because of what happens in Jedi Fallen Order. And I think that's going to be the thing. The thing as well, they are sort of similar, but actually they are quite different otherwise, because this Reva is just so full of hate and is just so driven. Like I actually think she's a great and terrifying character, because just savagely cuts off that woman's arm, the burning in the arm and stuff like that. She's no prisoners, doesn't listen to the Grand Inquisitor, doesn't give a shit. There's something else going on there. There's a connection with her and Vader that we don't know. There's going to be something more that really separates her from that Fallen Order character.
Well, they've hinted on it, said that they said that I tried to put it all together, and essentially she's come from somewhere, because the Grand Inquisitor does that dig at her, doesn't he? And she's almost like she's not as good as the others.
She's the run of the litter almost.
Yeah, and the reason that she's full of so much thing is because she wants to prove herself to Darth Vader by collecting Obi Wan, the one person that none of the Inquisitors would get. So I think it's going to be as simple as that. I think whatever her backstory is, she sees Obi Wan as the way that it's her ticket to the top kind of thing. It's her, if I can do that, then he will take me seriously. And I think it's going to be as simple as that. But I'm interested to hear what her backstory is and where she came from. What did you make of the Inquisitors in general?
I really liked them. Yeah, I was excited to see them come to live action, even though it's not the guy who voiced, it's not Jason Isaacs. But I thought the guy did a pretty good job trying to capture the voice and diction and the way he speaks, kind of well.
The essence is there.
Yeah,
I thought the Grand Inquisitor was fine. Is he dead now though?
No.
She proper lightsabered him through the chest.
Well, to be fair, we saw Mando absolutely eradicate. What's she called? Within episode
Fennec
1 of
Shan,
Mandalorian, and then she's come back as a main character, and she had her guts blown out. But I mean, no one stays dead in Star Wars, though. It's like Marvel.
No, fair enough. I was
going to see that weird. Wow. Well, to be fair, it was my dad that said maybe he is dead. Maybe the Grand Inquisitor is just a title. Yeah, Grand Inquisitor is a title at the end of the day. Anyone can be Grand Inquisitor. My dad was saying maybe it's the guy we end up like with Jason Isaacs' character is his brother or something. I don't know. It could be he becomes Grand Inquisitor next. I don't know. Yeah, it would seem a bit too weird, but
his thin-headed twin,
who is in the Jedi Survivor game, the Grand Inquisitor as well.
My favourite one was the guy with the hat. I'm not going to lie. I don't know which number he is or which brother he is, but the guy with the hat. He was badass. Like I thought he was wicked. Like there was something about his voice, like his look, like
he's the chap cool from the Fast and the Furious films.
It's the guy
he plays. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the guy who's
Who's he
always
play?
he's the guy who's always snacking in the Fast and Furious films.
The Chinese
You know,
guy that always eats crisps. Yeah.
He was it's him.
Wow.
Han is funny enough,
Han.
his name is Han, like Han in the Fast and Furious films. So
Oh wow.
yeah, so that's which is really awesome.
He was
Really
cool
awesome.
though. I liked him. I did like him.
Vin Diesel's going to turn up as the next Grand Inquisitor and just said, "It's not about Jedi slaying; it's about family."
very, very quickly, just a sidebar quickly, but the Vin Diesel cameo in Chip and Dale.
I haven't seen it still. I still haven't seen it.
It is basically poking fun at everything we poke fun at about Fast and Furious in Chip and Dale. So don't watch it. Anyway, back to Star Wars.
I haven't seen it. Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. It was just good. Like it didn't leave me kind of feeling like something was missing. I didn't end on it kind of going, oh, I wish they had done this, or where was this, or it was exciting. I'm well impressed that he remembered where the lightsabers were. I'm just going to say that.
No, but you got to remember. No, I can actually answer that one because Caroline said that, like my other half, and I said you got to remember the Force crystals, like the Kyber crystals, have a sort of so you would be able to sort of find that. Yeah. Also, again, need to remind you, space science.
Fair enough. But interestingly, because wasn't that his and Anakin's lightsaber?
Yeah, because he grabs Anakin's one from when he kills him in Mustafar. One of the last things he does is use the Force and takes Anakin's lightsaber, which he then gives to Luke.
So Darth Vader has a different one than Anakin's one, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So that one that's in the box isn't the one that Darth Vader uses because he's got a different one. Yeah. I thought so. Sorry, I'm not as down on my my lightsaber hilts and who's is who. But yeah, that's cool. So that's essentially
that's all right, Jake, because now you can get yourself Star Wars: The Lightsaber Collection. Don't worry, if you've got a question, we'll be able to answer it just by going through any of these books, looking at the hilts and the history behind the character. Available now at all good book retailers.
Right, have you got a book deal that we don't know about?
No.
So
but yeah,
sorry, I was going to say looking at the cast.
Go for it.
Looking at the cast listing, there's three actors that we've not met yet from the cast listing.
Okay.
One of them's going to be Ned B.
Well, it's Ice Cube and O'Shea Jackson Jr. and then Denny Savdi, whoever that is.
Hang on, whoa!
I know Ice Cube and O'Shea Jackson Jr. Yeah, father and son. So they've got to be doing something interesting to be in this, and they're going to be
they're going to be a father-son duo of some kind. They're not going to be. They're going to be in and out.
They've been used together because they've got the same, very same voice, diction, everything, haven't they? They're going to use them as something. I don't know. That'll be interesting to see.
I just want him to be like this
bounty hunter,
dad,
I was thinking father and son kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's
police
cool,
captain, and has two people they have to put undercover in Space College. And then we find out Kenobi's actually just a spin-off and it's called 23 Kenobi Street or something. I don't know. Yeah, but we've also got the droid, which we now know is called Ned B, like the humanoid droid that is going to be making a big presence at some point. So, I'm really looking forward to seeing who's going to voice him. Because if it's not Chris O'Dowd, I'm going to be very upset.
O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Yeah.
Even though gangster voice ever.
That'd be hilarious. But I would like it'd be good if it was they kept on the weird IT crowd tradition they seem to have started. And we get Chris O'Dowd, so we get like an Irish droid. Or like if it turns up to be like Jen from the IT crowd, or like Chris Morris, even like the first Renham.
That'd be quite cool. But then it ended with Vader, didn't it?
So yeah, there was a moment where Kenobi obviously is. I love that moment as well, where he realizes that Vader's alive, and he sort of like rekindles his connection to the Force almost, and Vader senses it. That's awesome. That's some like Maul and Ezra kind of stuff, and like your connection between Rey and Kylo. It's that connection thing. I love that.
That was awesome. That was a good way to end it.
I wonder how much because obviously he connected to the Force and Vader sensed it, but I wonder what he got. Like, what was Obi Wan feeling in that moment? Because, realistically, the last time he saw Anakin, he was like a hot potato. Like, let's be honest, it was like he was laying there like without any arms and legs, like literally just burning to death. Like, you know, what is he gonna know? Is he gonna know to the extent that he's?
I guess he'll probably. I reckon it's going to be a big impact shot when he finally sees him, and it will be. I reckon there'll be some kind of play. I think everyone might say something along the lines of "He's more machine than man now." You know, it'll be something. There'll be something like that. You know, there's nothing of you left, Anakin, or something. I don't know. There's some sort of.
Yeah.
There's going to be some kind of thing to do with that, but I think you're going to get a big reaction shot from Obi Wan, seeing. So, there's going to be a big sort of reveal of Darth Vader. Maybe with some smoke through a door type thing, you know, rises up and then he sees him for the first time or something.
Ewan McGregor said on a thing, didn't he? He said the first time, because he gave it, he sort of gave it away without much effort.
He did give it away.
He sort of said that without
his reaction
to
it.
Yeah, he sort of said that the first time they meet again, obviously they were talking just in filming. Obviously, filming is filmed in different ways, but they said the first time they met on set again was when he was in the full Vader costume, and it's a moment where he comes from behind Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan's got his back to him, so I wonder if that's going to be the moment where they actually re-meet in the thing. He hears the voice, and he can hear Anakin's voice through the respirator. That'd be cool. Or even if Vader turns that off, you know, because he can do that. If he turns that thing off, it's a bit like when he does it to Ahsoka. You know, when he goes Ahsoka, and it's Anakin's voice in Rebels. I wonder if there's going to be a moment like that where he sort of
one of my favorite animated moments.
Yeah, where he flicks that switch off, and you hear his real voice. Like,
he's got the half the mask cut off as well, and it's just got one human eye, and it's
I think that the Vader voice will be more Hayden Christian. I think they're going to have to so that we can kind of relate to it, and this will be a stepping stone, and you know, fans will have to remember that this is at this point and not at this point, and you know, so there will be that. I think there'll definitely be that.
And we'll get some flashbacks. I'm sure we're going to get some flashbacks.
Yeah. But they've made such a huge thing out of Hayden Christian like coming back. If it was just going to be the kind of James L. Jones-esque voice, and it was going to just be the Vader costume, they wouldn't have had to get him back to do this, like, would they? Realistically, and so there has to be a human element.
They've not even mentioned James L. Jones, as in
no,
they haven't even mentioned him at all, and he's not even been on Celebration this time. So. No. I don't think he's back doing the voice. I think we're going to hear more, like you say, more Anakin.
Well, it's
a bit of synth behind it and stuff.
It would have been very easy to do this series by just getting Ewan McGregor back if they were just going to have Vader in a suit. There needs to be much more of a personal element to it for them to warrant having him back.
Plus, he's getting... Yeah, but also he's getting really old now, you know, for the voice. You know, even in Rogue One, he didn't have huge amounts of lines. It's probably good because you could tell he didn't sound how he sounded years ago. No,
and that's totally understandable. But they could have even recycled like voice clips. Do you know what I mean? It's I guess the point I'm trying to make is that there has to be a reason why they've made such a big deal out of Hayden being back on board, because it's a costume at the end of the day. They could have had Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader without getting him back.
Yeah,
and they've made, and it's not even just like an interview, like he's been rolled out everywhere, but he is back.
He's in the suit. Like normally it's like it's a stunt actor normally in that suit. For like Rogue One and stuff, it was Spencer Wilding and stuff. It's been stunt people, but this time they've made a big effort to say that Hayden's in that suit. He's in the suit. Here's the lightsaber battles.
Here's my wild conspiracy theory, I suppose. The Vader we're going to see in this is not the Vader we've seen previously. This is going to be a halfway costume that we're not going to see. It won't be the Darth Vader we're familiar with. It will be, the helmet will be different. The suit will be different. Just because I know that we've seen the helmet go down at the end of episode 3, but I think there might be an alternative or just something that they can make it much more about the actor. Because let's talk merchandising again. What's going to sell? What's going to sell more than a Vader, you know, a new Vader kind of thing? Or technically, if you look at it in timeline order, it'll be an old Vader. It'll be the pre-Vader.
There's another really good argument for. I agree with your theory, and there's another reason why I've got a very good. There's a good argument for that, and that is the retro collection. The retro collection for Star Wars. So that we've seen the Raver figure. So it's a bit of a tangent. I know. I mean, we're going a bit celebrationary, but there's logic to this. On the back of the card that they're now showing for the Reva retro figure, it actually says what the other figures in the wave are. And so I'll just say it out now. We'll have a quick talk about it. But it's Obi Wan Kenobi, Wandering Jedi, Ned B, Reva, third sister, Grand Inquisitor, fifth brother, and then Darth Vader in brackets, the Dark Times. Now they're already re-releasing the original Darth Vader with the retro line in that new box that they showed recently. And like, why would you have Darth Vader in brackets, the Dark Times, unless he was different from that figure? So he has to be different.
It's a variant.
Yeah.
And we've got 10 years as well. 10 years. So at the end of episode 3, we see him, the Emperor, doing all the stuff and kind of making him into Darth Vader. And that was left so that then, when it went into episode 4, we know Vader looked like he did because at the end of episode 3, we see the helmet going down, that kind of stuff. But we've now got 10 years worth of kind of backstory to go back in. So it's really exciting to think of what we could get.
I think they're going to fight again. I think Obi-Wan's going to beat him again because Vader's at a point where if he, I don't think he would let Obi-Wan go this time because of what happened to him. I think he would kill Obi-Wan if he had the chance. So for me, I think he beats him again because then it plays to that line in episode 4 where he says, "Last time we met, I was the Padawan, you were the master. Now I am the master." It comes back to that whole line of now he's become something else to beat Obi-Wan. He's still got that grudge even in episode 4 to want to beat Obi-Wan. So I mean, there's something got to happen in this for him to still whoop Vader's ass even as he is. So like you say, I think he's going to be a bit robotic, a bit clunky. This is set before we see him obviously in Rogue One when he's doing the absolutely decapitating the crap out of people. This is before that, so I think this could be quite a clunky, mechanical first time in the suit kind of thing. I think this might be his first mission out as Vader. You know what I mean? The first time in the suit, and it still needs work doing to it. He's going to be slower. He might not be able to swing the saber as good, and Obi-Wan might just be jumping around him, kind of thing. Like, this is not you, Anakin.
Plus, I do think this is a good test run for seeing if there's room for a Vader series, because we've got the Vader comic book series, and it's a good run to see if he works in the series format. But I guess the thing is as well, I mean, we've already spent a very long time talking about Obi-Wan, and we've got a lot of Star Wars to cover. So I'm just thinking we should probably, cover that. So since I mentioned the retro collection, should we do toys first and then talk about trailers? Yes. So I'll start with the retro collection because I've already sort of announced what they are. So that's the one that's going to be. So we know we're getting that whole way. We've only seen one so far, the Reva figure, and they've gone all in on Reva. We got 3 different three series of like this character in one reveal, and the Hasbro Pulse thing, the crowdfunding one. But the retro collection. So we've got the Obi Wan Kenobi Wandering Jedi, which is going to be obviously Obi in what he is at the moment, what we've seen him in, I reckon.
It's kind of what we saw at the end of the episode, wasn't it? The robe and the combat boots.
And so we know it's probably going to be vinyl capes rather than cloth as well, because Reva's already got a vinyl cape. So we know they're sticking to the sort of like A New Hope, like first series Star Wars figures. The Darth Vader, obviously, we know we're going to get some sort of difference to what the retro collection one is. It better not just be a different paint though. It needs to be different. I would because obviously it'll be the first vintage Kenobi and Vader, I reckon, without the telescopic lightsabers coming out the arms, because we never got a different Ben Kenobi from the vintage line in like Kenner times, or Darth Vader. They always had the ones from the very, very first film with the bit where you used to push the thing up the arm and it comes out the hand. So that'll be really interesting to see. And we know we're already getting handheld sabers because of Reva's got the vintage version of what would be this sort of spinning saber, which is cool. So I can't wait to see Grand Inquisitors and Fifth Brothers accessories and what they're going to look like, because the Grand Inquisitor, I've been using my Rebels version of that, because the Rebels figures I always think are like the closest to sort of vintage figures that aren't vintage figures that they've done. Because it was a very odd kind of line that they did. The Ned B, I kind of also feel like reveals that Ned B is going to have this kind of big part to do in the show, because he's the other one that's got a character, he's got a figure. Of all the figures that the kids like child Leia doesn't get a vintage figure. No, it's Ned B, this droid, whichever droid this is. But also, I think from the picture I've seen, the production still I've seen of NEDB or Ned B, how it's meant to be said, I do sort of think the body looks the same as like New Republic security droid, like a K2SO security droid, like that's similar kind of body, different head. So I wonder, if a Rogue One vintage wave is not massively far out, or like an Andor wave where we'll see a K2SO vintage style or something. I don't know. Lots of promise, but it's cool to see that we're getting a whole wave of Obi Wan Kenobi retro figures. They're fully cash. It means it's here to stay. That's the thing I like. But then obviously then we had all the other reveals, so that was retro. But say Reva, we had all in one day. We had your 6-inch, your vintage collection, your retro collection, the lightsaber. It's
that HasLab project, 6.5 foot. That's that lightsaber.
It's longer than me.
But it's something stupid, like 450 quid, isn't it? It's like really.
Does it actually spin?
I think so.
I'd want it for that much. It would need to spin for that much. I'd need to hold the handle in the middle and make it go.
I don't think it did, guys. I don't.
You know what? The only thing that's really tempted me to do it is that I bought my eldest son, like remember the blade builder sets that you can get?
Yeah.
Remember those? And it was like an Inquisitor set, and it had like the spinning handle, and it's really cool. And there's like a little button on the middle, so you can spin it, and then you can click the button, and it holds it tight, so you can fight with it and everything. And there's something really cool about sticking 2 lightsabers on the end and spinning it. And I was like, yeah, this is bad. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, wow, this is like a grown-up version of that toy that I played with my kid. But if it doesn't spin, that's disappointing.
It doesn't say that it spins anywhere on the thing. And I had the advert on my channel, and I don't think it span.
Oh wow. Okay.
It is a lot of money, and I'm not sure it will get. Do you know what's one week's sad thing before? Because everything's gonna be positive this week, but one tiny little sad thing is, do you know she had to? They gave her proper training for the backlash that she would most likely receive from fans, or say fans, those people that watch Star Wars who are or horrible people. Like they had to give her training because they were like, there's a good chance because of who you are and everything like that, there'll be some big backlash. So they had to get there was training provided to basically, like, if you end up in a Rose Tico or Jar Jar Binks scenario or Jake Lloyd, like, they have like there's a section for that now to deal with that, and I think that's really kind of sad.
Yeah, but that's
it's good. It's good they have the support, but it's
But that's the legacy of Jar Jar Binks, though, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? They expected everyone to love this character, and then it was absolutely like destroyed by the fandom, should we say? Like, not the real fans, but the kind of the people that just like to complain. And so I suppose anytime they do something new, they have to kind of put that thing in place, which is a shame. But it's interesting to about merchandise because they have gone really hard on Reva. Like, a HasLab project is a huge thing in itself, considering their last one was a Rancor and that didn't even get backed.
It's also a very small HasLab project run because there's only going to be 5,000 of them, and we've got 700 backers so far, but they've got a target of only 5,000. That's quite low for a HasLab.
Yeah, it really is. And then obviously a figure across all of the different waves.
Yeah. For
a character that potentially we might not see after Obi-Wan. We know what she's not in, don't we? She could only therefore show up in things to come.
Yeah, I don't think she'll show up after Kenobi. I think she's a Kenobi character only.
Yeah. So it's a lot of merch to throw at one character. So she's got to have more to do, but I don't know.
Yeah, because the fact that I think that, like you say, they know they've got a limited time window with Kenobi, so they've gone hard on Kenobi merch. Because every other season, like we know, it's like with Mando and stuff, it's taken them ages to get through it because they knew they were going to have at least 3 seasons to play with. So they've kind of let it run. Whereas this, they've gone, right, Kenobi, they've already given us Kenobi, Reva, HasLab project, one figure across every range for all the characters. They're going hard because they know they've got a 9-week window.
Yeah.
They've given us all the Inquisitors. Like, they've given us all of the Inquisitors on 6-inch Black Series.
Yep.
And you think about Bad Batch, we didn't even get the full Bad Batch until, until very recently. Like, it's ridiculous. But one thing I will say, just calling back to our original point, is that the lead up to Kenobi coming out was all about, we've got Obi-Wan back, we've got Darth Vader back. Like, these guys are the bookends of this TV show here. And they've not given us the Kenobi Darth Vader in any way, shape or form across any of the lines.
So
there's definitely something they're hiding.
Yeah,
Just
because
saying it now.
we're getting weekly releases, don't forget. So every Wednesday, they're going to release merch. So they have to spread it out across the 9 weeks as well to give us the weekly doses.
But
And
they put
obviously
it Obi-Wan Wednesdays or something, didn't they?
Yeah. Kenobi, yeah, Obi Wan Wednesdays. And then, so yeah, but that's a good way of doing it because, like, as soon as this episode was done, Lola was revealed and she's out there to pre-order. So as long as they keep doing that, where there's that short window of, right, done, characters out, spoilers out.
What do you mean 9 weeks?
It's 9 weeks for this TV series. It's a 9-week run. There's 10
episodes.
But we've
Is
already
there?
had 2. Yeah.
I
10
only thought there was
episodes, we've already had
6.
2. No, 10.
Oh,
we've had-
freaking A. That's always good to know. I thought there was only going to be 6.
Yeah, but it's nowhere near Andor, which is thanks to like 24, isn't it? Or like it's,
Oh, I can't. We'll talk about Andor in a bit, but good lord, like, I want to talk about Andor. That's really good. Then I thought this was only going to be a really short one. Oh wow, awesome. Oh, that makes me happy.
9 weeks to play with this storyline. So yeah, so there's a lot still to come, and obviously, are we carrying on with the celebration releases?
I think we stick to we'll do all the toys of the celebrate, or just anything Star Wars new releases, because obviously there's the droid stuff as well. But there's been so many things on panels, stuff that, and you've probably seen a lot more than I have, because I know you've actually been watching a lot of it.
I've been sat here watching most things. I've really enjoyed Celebration. It's been fun, even though I'm sat at home. I wish I could have gone. I really do. I was really gutted when I was sat here the other day and I'm watching like Fantha Tracks put their thing on saying, right, see you in a week. And Jedi News put theirs on. We're on our way to Celebration.
We need to sort of try and get in touch with Hasbro and be like, talk to Steve, but Steve, can you let them know that we'll represent?
Well, the guy that follows me and was my fan, and now I'm his fan on TikTok. My good mate from down the road, he got invited out and he got flew out business class. Little jammy get,
son of a git.
Little jammy get, and he's been enjoying. He's been living it up in California for the last week.
Should have asked like them to get a +1.
So yeah, other than that, we've had a bunch of other vintage reveals, which I thought the vintage stuff was pretty strong. The dark troopers look nice in those little cases they've given.
Did not realize they were going to do like a diorama piece with it. I mean, that's really clever. You put it in the cardboard box packaging, so there's the whole plastic thing. But having like almost like the suit of armor sort of things. And the other thing as well, there'll be a lot of Marvel people that might buy those to try and use them for
Iron Man.
Yeah, but yeah, I wasn't bothered about them. And then when I was sort of I was on the fence about them. Then when I saw they came with the diorama things, I was like, oh, no, damn it, now I do want a few.
And we got Antok Merrick's droid, the R2 SHW.
Yeah, to go with the X-Wing.
He actually slots in the X-Wing, which is pretty cool. I like that.
I wondered if that's because that X-Wing hasn't sold brilliantly because of how expensive it is. And I kind of feel like this is to help boost the sales of it a bit.
Yeah, I thought that.
Yeah.
And they gave us the Gaming Great Star Wars Jedi Survivor multi-pack. We've got a villains pack from the new game long before it's even out, which is insane.
Great to see some, there's what some of the enemy types are going to be, like the modded sort of K2SO sort of security type droid, the new scout trooper with a shield, the riot trooper, I think it's called, something like that.
The comments on the groups there have been hilarious. It's obviously like we're a sequel into the story of the character now. We've still not got the main protagonist action figure in 3-inch. We've still not got him yet.
Ridiculous.
Can't believe it. They're still not giving him. They must be giving us him soon in 3-inch. Come on.
I've got a feeling they might. Yeah, I reckon there'll be a pack or something maybe.
Yeah. Then moving into 6-inch, there was a bunch of stuff kind of released. Like the Riot Scout Trooper again was from the new game. Magistrate Grief Karga from season 3. Obi Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader, the concept art edition by Ralph McQuarrie.
That was cool. That was very cool.
I know there's a lot of reuse there, and they're basically new heads and new sabers, but still, I'm really excited for them. I think they look fun. And the fact that they've called it the concept series means that they're going to make more of them.
Agreed. They're going to go like they did that with the 3 3/4 inch. They did pretty much all of the McQuarrie designs, and they look fantastic. So it's obviously clearly going to be doing that.
Yeah, I'm really excited for those.
I think concept art versions of figures are always a win. Like they're always a good for diehard kind of collectors and fans Like I would like you just got to look at Iron Man from Marvel. Like how many versions of Iron Man they've released, and it's a slightly different yellow or a slightly different helmet, and people buy it up because they're big fans. And I think to have concept art of Vader and Kenobi, that's one set that even I was kind of like, okay, I'm listening.
People are wondering because obviously it should have been Darth Vader and Starkiller technically for Ralph McQuarrie's artwork. So people are wondering. Obviously they've cashed in on the Kenobi versus Darth Vader for the series. You know, with the announcements. But are they going to still call, even under the concept series, are they going to call Luke Starkiller because of the connotation of Starkiller from the games? Will they be able to call him Starkiller now? Or I don't, you know what I mean? I wonder how they're going to work that on the box.
I think it confused too many people.
I thought that. If they suddenly announce he's 6 inch in the concept series, we've got Starkiller coming, people would lose their minds, and then they'd realize, it's a Luke.
Yeah, I think people would be annoyed about that.
Other than that, they gave us all the Inquisitors, so Grand Fifth and even Fourth Sister, who makes a general appearance in the episode, and she doesn't really do anything, but she's there. We've got a figure of her.
I think when I saw that figure, I wondered whether she's going to do any more, whether there's going to be any more about her further down. She was a cool concept. She's the orange coloured one, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. She was very cool. I just find it really odd that, like, it makes sense what you're saying about the window, but it was just when I seen the reveals, I was like, how are they getting all of this out so quickly for this show? Like, again, you look at Hasbro, Moon Knight, the show is done and gone. Like, it's one and done, it's wrapped up, but the figures aren't going to hit our shelves until Q1 of next year if we're going by the real pre-order dates and stuff. We know that's not true, and they're going to come out sooner than that. But still, on the hype of Moon Knight, people couldn't get a figure in their hands. Whereas this, it's kind of like people are whacking them pre-orders down, and they'll be getting them. So,
yeah, I've got a feeling that, like you say, I think later merch releases are going to be a lot more telling of what happens in this series. And I think we're going to get a lot of Vader merch down the line because this is going to be their cash in of Christensen in it, using his likeness and stuff. So I think we'll cash in on that.
Yeah, and we don't really need Vader merch. No one wants to have too much of that. I mean, if you feel like you end up surrounded by Darth Vader, it just really loses its. Forget it. Don't worry about it.
Then we've obviously got Darth Maul and Ayla Secura as well, which we knew were coming, but it was nice to see them finally in figure form. Ayla looks really nice. I'm quite looking forward to that. And obviously, it's nice to get an updated Maul to go with Ahsoka. And then they have the helmet. Don't know too much about it. It's just the artillery stormtrooper helmet.
Yeah, it's the repaint of the stormtrooper one. Again, it's pretty nice. If you're collecting the trooper helmets, it works. Didn't we have all the sort of the park re-releases of because there's the Halloween box set coming out, which is good because I've wanted to get the glow in the dark astromech droid from the Halloween from years ago, Pooh 17 or whatever it's called. Been desperately trying to get that for ages and ages and ages. No joy. And now they're re-releasing like 4 of them in one pack, which, I mean, I've already got the one before that, which like black, orange, and green and purple outlines and stuff. Not too bothered about the other 2, but I really wanted the glow in the dark one, which is good because it goes for stupid money on a single card. So, and they got another one coming out, which looks like Dracula. Yeah,
some interesting ones coming. All the Halloweeny ones look cool. I'm looking forward to them. So I'll be using the merch queens to grab me those as soon as I see them.
And a Droid Factory advent calendar as well.
Yes,
I will definitely be getting that.
Oh, 100%, I'll be getting that.
That's a game I want to play for December.
Yes,
the droid.
Well, if you're from the UK and you need merch grabbing from Orlando, look up the Merch Queens on Facebook. That's where I get all my stuff from. That's how I've got this in hand because these aren't even coming out in the UK. These are in America only right now, and I've got one within a few days. Literally, I literally put my order in last week, and he's here already. So,
Merch Queens.
Your Merch Queens, mate. It's Merch Queens, all one word. And then I think it's Personal Shoppers. And they're on the two ladies from Orlando, and they basically live by the parks, and they just go in, grab whatever merch you need. That's how I get all my droids and stuff. I'm forever tapping them up. That sounds ruder than I wanted it to.
Let's check this one out. Yeah,
got it.
Cool. Yeah, but that was kind of it from Hasbro, wasn't it? That was kind of all their stuff revealed. Should we jump into some trailers?
Yeah, let's do it.
There were no trailers. No, I'm joking. Should we do video game first since we've talked about it?
Yeah.
We now know the next gen exclusive Jedi Survivor. Dun, dun, dun. Great trailer. Another great trailer. And have you heard that Cal might not be the only playable character?
Yeah. I think we're going to play as that Sith character that he comes up against in that trailer. I think we'll play as both sides, good and evil. I
thought we might actually also get to play a few sections as BD.
That'll be cool.
Like, you know, there'll be some sections, and I thought that could be a really good little dynamic. Because, you know, one of the funniest little things was I was playing Jedi Outcast. I can't remember what it's called now. Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast the other day. And there's a whole bit where you have to play as a mouse droid. It was great fun, and you have to go for a little service zones. I thought, I wonder if they'll ever do that in like Fallen Order, because you get to go around like, I don't know, like a stealth mission or something. You know, Cal's in a jail cell, and you have to play as BD and go through. And you did it in the Battlefront 2 sort of storyline as well. You had to play as the droid, and it was really good fun. So I don't know. I think we could be maybe playing a little bit of BD. The graphics look insane. Yeah,
there's a reason why we don't see the face of the villain. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, he's fighting that the Grand Inquisitor style guy." He's not, is he? Because he's different. He looks completely different. There's another hooded Sith kind of character there, or Inquisitor character. And a lot of people have been saying, and I agree with them, to be honest, could this be how they tie Starkiller back into canon?
Very possible.
Could that hooded figure be Gale? Is it called Gal or Gale? From Gal. This could be how they tie him back in, because he would be about the right age to go up against Cal.
That would be interesting.
And then they could tie, because obviously they're bringing out bringing out the games for Switch. So like it's almost like they're refamiliarizing you with the story idea, and then doing this whole new canon storyline for the character. And he's a beloved fan character, and they happen to be re-releasing his figure in 3 3/4 inch as a pipeline reveal that we announced.
He's coming back, and I think that the fact that they made it all kind of non-canon and that kind of stuff, it's such a good character. They need to give him a.
I could even see him being.
Plus, they've already got the voice actor on payroll still, because obviously he's the one who voices Maul. So
yeah, Sam Witwer. But I could see them almost calling him giving him the title of the First Inquisitor, because they've not got a First Inquisitor yet. And if he is technically the First Inquisitor, he was the first one of Vader's Sith henchmen. So I mean, he literally could be given the title of. You know, the
thing is, they could try anything. It could be like, you know, like one of Palpatine's experiments. It could be one of Palpatine's kidnapping all those kids that one time. You know.
Or how cool would it be if he shows up in Kenobi as the person rallying up the kids and stuff? Just, you know, I don't know how that would work time wise, but it'd be too young, wouldn't he?
Who, Cal?
But yeah, no, the other dude.
Well, it depends how they tie him in. They can do what they want now, because the idea is the original storylines are no longer canon. But what I'm saying is they could work the character himself in a new canon. They could release a whole new storyline, just use the character. They could fit him in technically any way they wanted.
Yeah.
But even because it was Darth Vader's secret apprentice, wasn't he, in the original games? So even sticking with that, it does work that he was the first Inquisitor. And that could make sense as to why these games aren't canon anymore. Because if he was the first Inquisitor and these games were still classed as canon, people would be like, well, where are the other Inquisitors? Why hasn't he got a costume? But if they kind of go, right, well, those games aren't canon anymore. But essentially, he was Darth Vader's apprentice. He was the first Inquisitor, or just the Inquisitor. And there's so much.
I'm not going to be able to play it for so long, which is annoying, because it's going to be a next gen, and I just cannot justify the cost of one of those consoles.
So it's only coming out on the new consoles, the PS5 and
so not your PS4 or Xbox One.
It is crap that the console companies do that. I get why they do that, but it's the same as like Miles Morales and stuff like that came out on PS4 only, didn't it? And you know, I still haven't played that. I just haven't got time. Like I literally bought a PS4 to play it, and I still haven't played it. But that is rubbish. But I don't know.
I think because it was originally meant to be both, and then they sort of said, actually, no, now we're just doing it one gen.
Well.
And then in that trailer as well, we see that obviously that, you know, back to tank with the person inside. There's a dude in there. I don't know who that dude is, but there's a dude in there.
Definitely a dude in there.
I'm guessing he is the Jedi survivor. I'm guessing that's where they're going with that.
Yeah.
He's being kept alive by that weird dude. That weird. I don't know what they call those alien species. The Grand Inquisitor style dude. I don't know what they call their races.
Utapauans.
Utapauans.
Utopians? No, it sounds like Utopia. I don't know. Those that's that species, that race of aliens.
So I think he is the keeper of that Jedi in that back to tank. I think he's the keeper of that Jedi. And there's a cool story there to unfold. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it.
Totally agreed. Next sort of trailer that got released to the world, rather because I mean there was a lot of trailers obviously shown just a celebration, which we can talk about in a bit, but the one that was shown to the world was Andor. Wasn't expecting, and probably the show that I was still looking forward to, but not as excited about other ones. I suddenly ramped up and now absolutely cannot wait for this series.
I think it looks good because, again, it's a bit like Rogue One. It's going to give us a Star Wars story without a Jedi, which I'm kind of looking forward to.
Yeah,
well, that's how Mando started and then suddenly became a Jedi story again. So I'm liking the fact that this looks like it's just going to be, the grunts of the universe, the people on the front lines, the guerrilla warfare style. I'm looking
also the espionage element because of it's Mon Mothma still obviously in the Imperial Senate and everything at that point, because obviously this is probably going to tie in with her defection bit that we see in Rebels where she gets smuggled out and everything. It's probably going to lead up to that at some point, but just really cool that we're just going to see more of it. And I reckon it's going to be, you're going to see that questionable side of the Rebel Alliance that we don't get to see very often.
With it being so close to Kenobi, do you think there's going to be any crossover elements?
I don't think so. I think they'll keep it. I think they'll keep Kenobi separate.
Just the timeline will be very, very close, won't it?
If anything, I think it'll be a character that you'll see in Kenobi that you won't think twice of, that will then show up in Endor. And
it is sort of already connected, though. Actually, it's because of Bail Organa, because Bail Organa is obviously in Rogue One and stuff like that. So you might see Bail Organa, and he might make a reference to the fact that his daughter was kidnapped at one point or something. Maybe, I don't know. There might be just some check reference, but I don't think it would be like one sets up the other, or they'd be really intrinsically linked. It would just be maybe they'll reference one another somehow.
Or I wonder if we might see a quick cameo from Chopper and Hera, maybe. That could be a cool way of linking it into the wider universe as well. Possibly, but I kind of hope they don't overdo stuff like that, because, like I said, I like things to mesh over, but I do feel like sometimes it's just like the first thing we always try and speculate is what extra characters are we going to add in here and now. And I kind of just want Obi-Wan to be Obi-Wan.
And you've got to just look at Boba Fett, where they kind of threw in all these people off the back of the Luke Skywalker cameo, and it wasn't received overly well. People weren't like, "Oh my god, that was the best thing I've ever seen on television."
There is method to this madness, my friend. There is method to this madness.
Oh,
Boba Fett was done for a reason, and we were given those characters for a reason. We're just yet to see it. There's no way. Shan's character is a big enough draw. She's a good actress as well, and the fact that BK is going to be the kid's favorite toy this Christmas, without a doubt, he's going to appear in Kenobi. I'm telling you, BK is going to be in Kenobi at some point, and I think we're going to see more of Ming-Na Wen in Bad Batch and things like that. But she's going to get tied into the wider universe now. They did this for a reason. There's no to show her.
No, I agree. I do agree.
And it's just cool to see some more Empire as well. I'm always happy to see more Empire stuff, like seeing all the Imperial officers and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to just seeing what's going to be sort of the next sort of seeing the Empire really taking hold of the galaxy.
So I'll tell you what I really liked, and this is going to sound really silly. I really liked the logo. Just the way they did the O in between the I don't know, whoever designed
that was clever. Yeah,
needs a pay rise, because I was like, that was really well done. That's out of the box thinking, because you look at it and you're like, you can read it, but I was like, that is very cool. I found myself more kind of taken by how good the logo was, and I had to go back and rewatch the trailer again. I was like, right, okay, don't focus on the logo, just Focus on the show.
Brilliant.
But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, shows like that don't excite me. I'm not excited for it. But what I am excited about is I wasn't excited about Rogue One, but it's one of my favorite Star Wars films because of how good the story is. And I think that this is going to be the same. I think it's not one that I'm hyped up initially for, because it's like, well, there's no Jedis, there's no Sith, there's no, that kind of stuff. But I think that it's going to be one that 24 episodes is a lot of storytelling.
Yep.
There's
so happy about that.
serious story to be told here. So I'm really excited, but not outwardly excited, if that makes sense.
And then what was the other trailer? That was the trailer that was sent out to sort of the world. And then you had we've had the announcement of Star Wars Skeleton Crew, with the only cast member being announced so far was Jude Law.
What is that all about?
So from what I've read, it's going to be like not Stranger Things in Star Wars, but like they're going for 3 sort of young kid, sort of child or teenager sort of characters. And that's about as much as they've sort of confirmed so far. They've not really given many details of it. But I've got a feeling it will be something like the 4 young Jedi and something on a keeper on a ship or something like that. And it is like they are the skeleton crew of some kind of big ship, and they're just about their misadventures they get into or something. And then you got that was announced. Then you got Star Wars Jedi Tales that we knew was coming already, but we actually got to see some concept art or like what the designs are. So we've got, for example, Count Dooku back in his Jedi times before he got turned, Apprentice Qui-Gon, some more Ahsoka and Anakin. You could see some Mace Windu. So each one is going to be a different sort of short story based on a different Jedi from the past. And I believe, if I read correctly, Liam Neeson's son is voicing young Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Which is a really cool little twist. But that's going to be a really cool series. So it looks like very much like I would almost say like a hybrid model, like design-wise, of like Bad Batch, Clone Wars, Rebels in its design. So it's still sort of it's slightly different, but still cohesive, if that makes sense. Like it's still familiar but slightly different. So that was sort of, we saw pictures of that. They look really good. That's really encouraging. And then they have done 2 trailers just at the convention. So they've done the Mandalorian season 3, which I have not been able to find leaked online, and then Ahsoka, which I have managed to find leaked online and sent it to you guys, and you guys have also seen it.
It was very cool. So I'm just looking at his concept art now. So it's Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Or Jedi Tales, I think it's called.
Tales of the Jedi.
Is it Tales of the Jedi?
Yeah, Tales of the Jedi.
What's Jedi Tales then? Oh no, that's the book series.
I was going to say, yeah.
So yeah, we got there's some really cool concept art of Ahsoka and like stuff like that. It does look really cool, to be honest. They're basically gonna fill in gaps in the storylines, aren't they? It's a way of it's a way of saying they're doing like some one and dones. Like those filler episodes from Clone Wars. It'd be like them, I reckon. It's just gonna be the filler gaps to plunk in some storylines along the way.
I think it's gonna be a really good series, and it's gonna be great to see. Maybe we'll start seeing about the doubts of Count Dooku before, what sort of made him sort of tip over the edge and stuff like that. But I just again, it's getting that sort of proper varied sort of Star Wars things that we're getting now. Like it's not all the same. Yeah, young Dooku.
I get purple lightsaber.
We're getting that sort of great sort of the variety. 'Cause I think that's when you have like a franchise like Star Wars, there is a danger, like you said, it's really good to have a series without Jedi in it and things like that, because you could get very, very, very dangerously close to just making the same things over and over and over and over again. At least these are all set in a universe which is familiar, but it is all at least very different in regards to sort of stories, what kind of types of characters they're using, things like that.
I found the Dooku stuff. I haven't found the Liam Neeson.
Young Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
It is on there. You just got to look. Follow your heart.
There is another series coming.
Found him.
There is another series coming called Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures, which is going to be a new animated series set, but it's going to be during the High Republic era, which is that new era they've been pushing comics and books in. And it looks like it's set for like a younger audience. So we're talking not even like Rebels quality. We're talking like Muppet Babies quality.
But we're still going to watch it.
That's the thing. I'm sat there laughing, going, but I'll probably sit and watch it because I watched Galactic Pals this week and bought the toys from it.
I was about to say, look what you've got in your hand. It is a great time to be a Star Wars fan. And the thing is, we haven't even had everything yet.
Nope.
You know, we haven't seen the Bad Batch season 2.
Yeah, we have.
Anything from that? Is it out today?
It dropped just before we started recording.
Did it actually?
It dropped. Yeah. It looks amazing.
I'm gonna have to start watching that in the minute we sign off. I'm gonna be picking it up. But so obviously with the Ahsoka trailer that we've seen, we had a great bit of reveals, didn't we? We actually saw live action Hera from the back.
Yeah.
We've got the live action Sabine confirmed. We've got live action Ezra confirmed. We know there's live action Thrawn confirmed. You know, seeing a live action Chopper. Chopper was on the stage, I believe, at one point.
Yeah, he was.
So it's great that, you know, they're not throwing these characters away. They're really using them. And I think that's wonderful. I mean, I can't wait to see sort of live action Hera. I mean, even from the back, I was like, you could tell it was like Hera instantly.
That costume is unmistakable.
Yeah, exactly. It's such a cool costume, like the whole kind of flight suit type with the
pilot
goggles.
They made it very recognizable to her, didn't they? They didn't. Yeah, there was no two ways about it. Sorry, I got carried away there with the concept art of Jedi. I was like, I love concept art.
I did think we just sort of lost Jake.
No, I was on a track for concept art there. Very Rebels-esque as well, which is cool.
They've already kind of said at Celebration. Rosario Dawson was there with the girl that's going to be playing Sabine, and they did say that Rebels fans are going to get the payoff they've been waiting for. This series they've already basically said this Ahsoka series is more or less Rebels season 5 without it being Rebels season 5. It's a continuation of the story that started in Rebels and Ahsoka, and it's just continuing it through the Mandalorian timeline era. So it's just a continuation of the story that we've like grown to love. So I'm looking forward to it because I love Rebels. Rebels was a thing before Force Awakens that drew me back in. That drew me back into the franchise with I like the dynamic of Kanan and Ezra. And I'm looking forward to seeing Ezra back, hopefully in live action very soon.
Yep.
So much coming.
So Mandalorian's season 3 trailer hasn't leaked online. Yeah, you can tell us in a sec. But Grogu did make an appearance on stage, didn't he?
He did.
And I thought that was brilliant. The way he was like looking up to the crowd, looking around. It was like he was a full-on person. Like, that was nuts.
Grogu has been at Celebration and doing loads of things. Like they've had an animatronic Grogu inside of the cockpit, you know, like in the ship. They've had like a version of the ship with the little window, and there's been somebody puppeteering that thing all day long, just waving at people in the crowds, and he's been there the whole time.
He's just sitting there going, I do not get paid enough for this.
Yeah.
he is literally sat in the ship, like on his phone, like this, just waving,
moving him around.
Just literally just a handle.
No, because you should see how it's moving. It's someone's proper enjoying themselves doing that and getting the crowd attention. Because the guy's like being a bit erratic, like you see him like running it around the ribs, like you never see the bottom of the puppet. So he's like obviously like moving it so people can see it, and he's having too much fun sat there doing that.
That is cool.
And there's thousands of people around it taking photos. But in the trailer that's dropped, so it dropped to the people at Anaheim last night, I believe.
Definitely not watching it right now.
I'm not naming the bar guy, but I've got a...
No.
You got it right. Are you watching it?
Yeah, I'm watching it right now.
I'm not naming anyone, but yeah, I do have a man on the inside.
Send me a link.
Yeah, I'll link you up in a minute, man. Don't worry. Got your back.
So yeah, what happens?
So yeah, I've got a man on the inside who's been secretly filming some stuff and sending it over.
Whoa, when did Jabba have legs?
But yeah, it's looking good. There's a scene.
Ooh.
I've only seen, bear in mind the guy's filming on a phone, so I've seen little bits. And the scene that I liked was where there's a bit where you see Bo-Katan's in like the throne on Mandalore.
Just come across that bit.
Yeah, and it's like Daenerys Targaryen in Game of Thrones. She's like, this is my Mandalore.
Also, there's a tree of salacious crumbs, which I'm happy about.
There is.
There's a tree of the monkeys.
Right, just send me this so I can watch it. Come on.
Once I've finished watching it, okay, let's take it in turns. It's not the best thing. Half is shot, like I can only see half of some of it, but
Yeah,
we know it's going to drop. It's going to drop online in the next kind of 20.
I know, but I don't want to wait that long.
No, I don't. I don't either. That's why I want to see it.
Oh, this is
But
exciting.
That's coming
I'm
out
excited.
this fall, isn't it? It's coming out this year.
Ahsoka, no. Ahsoka's next year.
No, Mandalorian.
Mandalorian's this year, yeah. Sorry. Oh, yeah, sorry, Mandalorian. Mandalorian's this year, yeah. Supposedly it's this fall. It's very, very like near. So I'm looking forward to it. It looks really good. I'm trying to see if I can find my link to send you.
Just got a message. I need to just go and look at this.
Oh, Jay just got a random message. I'm sure he's not everything I'm looking at right now. I love that we keep
over here to watch it. So I don't want the audio to be picked up on the mic. So.
Well, there might have been one or two bits I spoiled, but I don't care. Oh, that is cool though. I mean, it is funny because we had all those series announced, and it just seemed like they were going to be so far away. And then obviously now, like you said, we've got Obi Wan, which I've just found out is now a lot more. If you go a few more weeks than I thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes from Obi Wan, and then I'm guessing, but is Bad Batch season 2 before?
No,
release
Bad
date
Batch season 2 got pushed back a little bit. I think we're getting that later in the year now, or like later next. Sorry, like early next year. I think maybe.
Oh wow,
I'd love it if it was sooner, but I'm not sure anymore.
So
they have
what's
just dropped
the next
trailer though? They have just dropped the trailer for Bad Batch.
I've just seen it 3 hours ago. I'm like, oh, okay, I need to watch this as soon as we get off this.
Let me see. I'm just gonna see if there's like a thing that says at the end of it, Bad Batch.
This fall. Oh, this fall.
This fall, yeah. So yeah, it's coming out this year. Damn, there's a lot going on.
We're getting a lot of Star Wars. Again, there is zero complaints here about that. Zero complaints. So that's going to be good. So that means I wonder if we'll end up getting that and Mandalorian at the sort of same time. If there'll be any crossover, because they're both fall. I mean, or whether they try and space out. So it's literally like, will we go Kenobi to Andor to Bad Batch to Mando?
Well, we've got the Marvel ones in between as well. So I think when Kenobi ends, do we get Miss Marvel? And then when Miss Marvel ends, do we end up with... is it going to go Star Wars, Marvel, Star Wars, Marvel, Star Wars, Marvel?
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be maybe a little bit of crossover because there's so much going on.
That's how the keepers subscribed.
That is, and I've had the trailer going on in the background there, and I won't lie, that's exciting. I really enjoyed Bad Batch. I know it had a bit of mixed reception, but I really enjoyed Bad Batch.
The fact that we're seeing a Wookiee with a lightsaber.
Yeah, because again, that also supports that theory about I said about I thought it was that the droid that sort of teaches the younglings and everything. Yeah. That episode, and in the live action bit for Ahsoka, in that trailer, there's that droid. Then that I think is the one that's the Jedi Archive droid that teaches about lightsaber construction.
Yeah.
And the fact that we've just now seen the Wookiee, which I believe is from that episode of Clone Wars in Bad Batch, there's going to be some kind of connection there somehow. I don't know how, but
there has to be.
Yeah, because that droid's got to be survive somehow, I'm guessing, and that's I'm just so excited. We're just getting so much Star Wars. And seeing a Wookiee with the lightsaber is such a cool thing. I mean, that was a great episode, that one, where they all had to make their lightsabers and it was all different for everyone. And, it was really clever. And I want to rewatch it now. Same problem, sometimes we talk about these things, I get so excited about it. All I want to do is, because we record, if anyone listening, we actually record this quite late, ahead of obviously releasing it on a Monday. And so sometimes we get tired because it goes into the hours, the late hours. And but it does make me, when we finish talking, I just want to go and watch everything we've been talking about. Matt, you've seen it.
Okay, that was amazing.
Yeah.
that was very cool. That was very cool. We didn't give enough away that it ruined it, but it's a good trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you've now seen the Mando trailer and the Ahsoka trailer, and I've just watched the Bad Batch season 2 trailer that's just dropped.
Yeah, that's really cool. I've seen that one. Yeah, no, good. We've got a lot of content coming, and I heard you guys talking about the Marvel stuff as well. When you tie Marvel and Star Wars here, we have got some seriously good months ahead of us. In regard, what a great time to be alive as a geek. Let's be honest. Like,
so happy to be a nerd.
I wish I could go back and tell my sort of 10, 15-year-old self, like, just hang in there. It's coming. Like, you know what I mean? It's
nerd stuff's coming home. It's coming.
Why did you ruin it by turning it into a football song?
I didn't. I turned.
You crossed the streams there massively.
I was always cross the stream. I spent the whole day at Twickenham watching rugby the other day. Whilst also being a nerd. I'm like the one who breaches the two worlds.
No, it's good. It's good. What how long have we got left of stuff coming out of Star Wars? Is there anything else coming, or are we all kind of pretty much done now?
How much of a celebration wise have we got left?
Today, all of today. Bear in mind, California, it's only, what time is it in Cali? It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, isn't it, Daft?
So they're
the opposite coast, aren't they? So I'm just looking it up now, right quick. There's still stuff to come out today.
We've got stuff to come in. That's fine.
So there'll be stuff that we want to talk about.
It's only 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Cali, so there's still a whole afternoon and evening of stuff to come out yet.
So we've got a little bit more Star Wars to talk about. Cool.
There'll always be more stuff. And also they're going to be doing the Kenobi Wednesdays, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah. So, next week we'll obviously talk Kenobi. Ryan, you're not with us next week, are you?
No, unfortunately not. So it won't be me, but maybe try and get a guest on because I leave such a huge hole in your heart when I'm not here, naturally. So I'm sure you can find someone and probably replace me permanently. I'll come back and find out my spot's been taken forever. Just in time for the year anniversary. Ryan's booted off the show, permanently replaced. Yeah, I'm off that weekend, and unfortunately, I've got I'm not back for a couple of weeks, and then I'm back, and then I'm off again for a couple of weeks, and then Jake's off for a couple of weeks. But we're all going to be here for the year anniversary. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to Zakynthos, and I'm going to send videos of the horrendous knockoff toys there. So I'll send something for the show. That's
brilliant. That is brilliant. When I go off, I'm gonna log in and sort of kick the week off or whatever. But I won't be able to stay for the whole show because of time differences and stuff. So I will be there. I can't drop out completely, but I will be there. But yeah, if you can send us some videos of the knockoff toys, they are my favourite things about going on some of the holidays. When you go and you see the Space Avengers, and it's kind of like Darth Vader.
When we last went, my wife actually started a Facebook album, and it was called the Terror Toys of Zakynthos. And there were one of the most horrific looking ones was a Superman who looked like he'd burnt his own eyes out with his laser vision. They'd obviously went to paint sort of black dots on for eyes, but they just sort of seemed to have melted and just looked like he's burnt scars over his eyes. But he was like a He-Man build almost as a figure, but it just looked like he'd sort of done laser but forgot to open his eyes. It just melted. It was terrifying. Brilliant. I should have bought it.
Some of them are brilliant.
I did get all the Star Wabs Lego though. It was Star Wabs. And I was just like, I can't not get that. Because even Stab Wars would have made more sense, but it would have sounded more horrific. But then no, Star Wabs.
Star Wabs. That's fantastic. That is fantastic. But before we do finish the week off, because we are getting very close to the end of the show, Stranger Things is back.
I watched the first episode. I watched the first episode of the new season.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've only watched one.
They are like movies. They're so long.
Yeah.
It's great.
I must admit, I logged onto Netflix and it's all there, and I was like, wow, I'm so Disney Plusified that I was kind of like waiting for a week
for the week,
and I was like, wow, I've got the whole.
Well, this isn't,
or the first 7 episodes.
Yeah, but apparently the season 2 bits only, or the other half, is only going to be 2 episodes, but they're going to be super long.
Yeah, but it's good.
I prefer it that way, but it's just I actually would have preferred a weekly one. I tell a lie. I would prefer the Disney Plus thing.
Yeah, it is good for it. Makes you draw it out a little bit because you just kind of binge watch. But yeah, I mean, I'm pleased it's back on. I'm a Stranger Things fan. I love my Stranger Things, and people talk trash about it and say that it's never as good as the first episode. Excuse me. Oh, caught you on there. Yeah. That's that. But it's never as good as the first series. There, that Ryan's off now. But no, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm liking the way the story arc's going. And it was dark. It was gritty, and
I have so many questions.
Me too.
So in half an hour's time, you might want to be tuned into the YouTube channel for Star Wars. The Celebration Anaheim closing ceremony. All it says on StarWars.com is it's going to be broadcast from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m., which our time will be 11:30. And gather with your friends and fellow Star Wars fans to relive the best moments of this weekend as we bid farewell to Celebration for another year, featuring special guests, weekend highlights, and much more. It's a send-off you will not want to miss this year as we look towards the future of Star Wars.
Okay.
20 minutes and I'm tuning into that, bad boy.
So, thank you very much.
I'm up for that.
tuning in.
Yeah.
So, guys, thank you very much for watching. See you later.
May the force be with you.
That is a good point to end on. So yeah,
no, Strange Things has been. I've been really enjoying it. I've watched the first 2 episodes so far. I'm really into it. I'm really liking it. I like the new baddie, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing more because, like I say, I've only seen the first episode so far.
If you're into, if you big into your
get a chance to watch more.
If you're big into your D&D, Stranger Things is just so nostalgic because all the villains are just straight out of D&D.
Yeah, and they don't even make any bones about it. Yeah,
it's just these are just D&D villains that they've just made up.
Yeah, it's just a very good series, and I think that, like with everything, when you get too much of something, people critique, and I just think about how much hype there was when Stranger Things first dropped, and this is just a continuation and a good qualified continuation of the story. So just enjoy it for what it is. It's the next chapter, you know.
They're stopping after season 5. They said season 5 is the natural conclusion. So I'm glad they're not dragging it out too long. I'm glad that they've kind of saw like this is the ending. They've got an ending in sight. That's good when people it's it's going to be a full rounded story.
Yeah. 11 will have a baby, and and then they'll bring up a spin-off further down the line. But no, I'm really excited. 5.5. It's,
very good. Very good.
Yeah. No, it was good. I enjoyed it. We can chat a little bit more about it next week. Yeah. Cool. I think that's a nice natural conclusion for this week.
I'm reading my book now.
Next week you will be missed. But we hopefully have got someone to take your place for that week only. Yeah. So obviously, if you are still watching, and thank you very much for tuning in. Your support to the show is very much appreciated. Hope you're enjoying Star Wars Celebration and Kenobi as much as we are. Please do like, share, subscribe, all of those things. Check the description below. Give guys a follow if you don't already do so. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook. And if you're one of our podcast listeners, then carry on downloading and sharing, etc., because we appreciate you. Think that's everything.
Yeah.
So until next week, may the force be with you. And keep it geek.
The Geek Week in Review.